When God seems far away. Now, I want to preface something first. I just recently started diving back into the Bible. I just recently started analyzing it and trying to really understand His Word. Okay, I am by no means a professional. I want to talk about my experience. So, like I said, I've recently started back with the Bible. I started with the Gospels. I'm still not quite through Matthew. Like I said, I'm taking my time. I'm trying to truly understand what was happening during Matthew, right? But end of the night, when I'm done reading the Bible, I close it and I ask God, what did I need to hear today? And so I reopen the Bible, random page, and it opens to Psalm 88. And I've read most of the Psalms, but this was the one that I jumped into. And it seems like Psalm 88 is the saddest and the most, there's like a despair, because it seems like most of the Psalms end with some sort of hope at the end of it, right? But Psalm 88 doesn't. There's no hope in there. I'm going to talk about men here specifically, and because we want to be perceived as strong. But we know what our weakness is and how frail we are in our own private life. Any number of things can make us feel the way Heman was feeling while writing this psalm. Okay, that was a lack of strength, despair, even loneliness. And something that I've realized is that. And the fact is, being in a relationship with Jesus Christ doesn't mean that we're not going to go through these times. Does not mean that because of us having a relationship with Him doesn't mean that it closes off that part of life. Like, we're still going to experience these things. We're still going to experience hard things, whether that's for a chapter or even those prolonged seasons. But one thing we know is that God will always be there. God is going to have our back the entire time that we're going through these seasons. We are not alone. We may feel lonely, but we are not alone. But during that Psalm 88, it doesn't just provide us human experience, right? It also provides us a prompt for what we can do during those hard times, during those times that life really gets hard. I have my Bible in front of me right now, and what he says is that 3 times the psalmist tells us that he cries out to God. He cries out to the Lord constantly. Because of what Heman did, it gives us a little bit of a structure of what Psalm 88 is about. It's about turning to God in those dark times, in those times of those prolonged seasons, in those chapters of life, turning back to God no matter what's going on in your life, knowing that He's there and knowing that we can turn to Him at any point. Right at the beginning of the Psalm, first words that you see, "O Lord God of my salvation." I mean, that is, that's deep, and he is constantly crying out to the Lord. Even during those times of darkness, even in those chapters, he is constantly reaching out, which gives us a prompt of what we need to do during those times too. Because, like I said earlier, because you believe in Jesus Christ, because you have a relationship with Him, doesn't mean that it's just going to close that door to hardship. You still have to go through hard things. You still have to experience things. You still have to experience these things to move on, to continue to move through life, because God's will, we don't know what God's will is until it's happening through us in real time. And with that, I'll leave you with this. God's got us. God has our back. He always has and He always will. No matter how hard things are, no matter what you're going through, you're going to make it out the other side. But just continue to turn to Him, because He's got you. He's listening, and everything's going to work out, and everything's going to make sense. If you can, and with that, if you enjoyed it, drop a like. If you didn't, let me know. That's okay too. Please consider subscribing to Uncharted Potential. This is where we grow. This is where we try and become our best selves, not only for ourselves but for other people as well. And this is my first time kind of talking about religion, and if you, like I said, let me know what you guys think. Either way, I'll see you in the next one.